Hello students, today we'll see the third unit in history, that is World War II, which happens in the year of 1939 to 1945. So firstly we'll see the introduction part now. The first half of the 20th century witnessed two wars which devastated the world. So, in the 20th century, the first half of the 20th century had experienced the two world wars which devastated the world. So, devastated அப்படினா அழிவு சேதம் அப்படி சொல்லலாம். World War I was fought from 1914 to 1918 and the World War II began in 1939 and ended in 1945. While the world at large had experienced many wars, these two wars are referred to as world wars because of the extended areas of the conflict and the very high death toll of civilians as well as armed combatants. So the world had experienced many wars. But these two wars are considered as world wars. Why it is considered as world wars means because the areas extended to the conflict is very large and the death toll is also very high. Both wars were fought on several fronts across Europe, Asia and Africa. In both wars, the combined forces of Great Britain, France, Russia and the United States fought against a war alliance led by Germany. So the Great Britain, France and Russia, United States fought against the Germany. Germany allies were Italy and Japan in World War II. So the group of people who joined with Germany is Italy and German people in World War II. Next heading is causes, cause and effects of the World War II. Now we are going to learn about the causes and how the World War II has happened and the effects of World War II. So the first heading, causes. The devastation caused by World War I was of such magnitude that it was referred to as the Great War or the war to end all wars. So the first world war is referred to the Great War or the war to end all other wars. The belligerent nations, especially the Allies, had no desire for a second prolonged conflict and this was the main driving force behind their actions after the end of World War I. So belligerent nations is nothing but the nations which had a problem with each other. So they are not in an interest to create a second prolonged conflict. And this was the main driving force behind their action after the World War I. The immediate and primary cause of World War II was the aggressive military offensive undertaken by a resurgent Germany and a fast developing Japan. So the Germany's allies in World War II was Japan and Italy, right? So what is the immediate and primary cause of World War II is the aggressive military offense which is undertaken by Germany and a fast developing Japan. So these two are the immediate and the primary cause of World War II. Germany and Treaty of Versailles 1919. The Treaty of Versailles ending World War I was signed in June 1919. So the Treaty of Versailles which concluded the World War I was signed in the year of June 1919. Among the many clauses of the treaty, three in particular caused great resentment among the Germans. So many clauses are there in the Treaty of Versailles. Among them, three particular clauses created a great resentment. Resentment அப்படினா ஒரு அதிருப்தி அப்படி சொல்லலாம். Resentment among the Germans. First point is Germany was forced to give up territories to the west north and east of the German border. So they are forced to give up their territories in the west, north and east. The second point is Germany had to disarm and was allowed to retain only a very restricted armed force. So Germany has forced to limit their armed force. Third point is as reparations for the war, Germany was expected to pay for the military and civilian cost of the war to the allied nations. So Germany was expected to pay the war reparations. Reparations is nothing but இழப்பீடு. Okay, வார்க்கான இழப்பீடு அவங்க பே பண்ணணும். Failure of League of Nations. The treaty also set up the League of Nations on the initiative of President Woodrow Wilson of the United States. So the Treaty of Versailles that set up the League of Nations, which was initiated by the President of United States. His name is Woodrow Wilson. The League was expected to mediate between countries and take action against countries which indulged in military aggression. So the League was expected to mediate, to act as a mediator between the countries and to take action against the countries which are participated or which started the military aggression. The popular mood favored the traditional isolationist approach, and therefore the United States did not become a member of the League. The United States did not become a member of League because people who are lived in United States are in the mindset of isolationist approach. The other allied nations were also determined to maintain a non-interventionist attitude. So other allied nations are also not interested to interfere in the League of Nations, and in consequence, the League remained an ineffectual international body. So there is no use of this League of Nations. So this is the failure of League of Nations. Post-war crisis and Germany. As mentioned above, the three main clauses of the Treaty of Versailles, especially the imposition of penal reparations, caused great discontent in Germany. So, in the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was forced to pay the war reparations, right? So, this created a great discontent in Germany. The problems which many countries faced in the post-World War I decades led to the rise of extreme right-wing dictatorships in Italy, Germany and Spain. So, in many countries after the World War I, decades means 10 years. So, in 10 years, they led to face the extreme right-wing dictatorship. So this method is followed in Italy, Germany and Spain after the First World War. Dictatorship is nothing but sarvadhigaram அப்படி சொல்வாங்க இல்லையா, that is dictatorship. Germany experienced both high unemployment and severe inflation after the war, and its currency became practically worthless. So Germany is in a problem of high unemployment and severe inflation after the war, and also the value of currency became practically worthless. There are several pictures of the 1920s, that is after First World War, when ordinary people had to carry money in wheelbarrows to buy bread. So in 1920 there are some pictures which indicate that the ordinary people also had to carry money in wheelbarrows to buy a bread. This was blamed on the war reparations which Germany was forced to pay, though in the final analysis the demands for war reparations were moderated over several rounds of negotiations. So what is the reason behind this situation in Germany? Because they are forced to pay the war reparations, right? So this is the situation which creates high unemployment and severe inflation. The rise of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was able to exploit the general discontent among the Germans. He gifted with great oratorical skills, he was able to sway the people by his impassioned speech, promising a return to the glorious military past of Germany. So Hitler tried to make use of this situation with his great oratorical skills and his impassioned speeches. So he promised the German people to make them return to the glorious military past. He founded the National Socialist Party, which is generally known as the Nazis. The fundamental platform on which Hitler built his support was the notion of racial superiority of the Germans as a pure Aryan race and a deep-seated hatred of the Jews. So, Hitler got support, or he created a fundamental platform with the two matters. They are the racial superiority of the Germans as a pure Aryan race. So he declared Germans as a pure Aryans and a deep-seated hatred of the Jews. So these are the two reasons. With this, Hitler created a basic platform in Germany. So Hitler came to power in 1933 and ruled Germany till 1945. In direct contravention of the clauses of the Treaty of Versailles, Hitler began to rearm Germany. So against this Treaty of Versailles, Hitler started to rearm Germany. He started to increase the armed forces. The recruitment for the armed forces and the manufacture of armaments and machinery for the army, navy and air force with large amounts of government spending resulted in an economic revival and solved the problem of unemployment in Germany. So government has spent a lot of amount to recreate the German armed forces. So this resulted in the increase in economical activities and it solved the problem of unemployment in Germany. Italy's break with Britain and France in the wake of Mussolini's invasion of Ethiopia resulted in better relationship between Italy and Germany. So Mussolini invaded Ethiopia. So due to this, Italy broke the relationship with Britain and France and resulted in a better relationship with Germany. So now Italy and Germany are in a better relationship. In 1936, before Germany invaded Rhineland, which was supposed to be a demilitarized zone, Rome-Berlin axis had come into being. So in 1936, Germany invaded Rhineland. Before that, Rome-Berlin axis, Rome-Berlin Treaty had come into being. Later, with Japan joining this alliance, it became Rome-Berlin-Tokyo axis. Okay. In 1938, Hitler invaded Austria and Czechoslovakia. Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia was German speaking. So the people who are living in Sudetenland, which was a part of Czechoslovakia, was German speaking, and Hitler's claim was that the German speaking people should be united into one nation. Allies and non-intervention. There were also acts of aggression by Italy and Japan. Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1935 and Albania in 1939. So in this period, Italy and Japan started occupying other countries. Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1935 and Albania in 1939. Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia appealed to the League of Nations but got no help. So the Emperor of Ethiopia, so he appealed to the League of Nations due to this problem, but he got no help. In the East, Japan was pursuing its policy of military expansion. So Japan, they started expanding their military. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, and in 1937 it invaded China and seized Beijing. All these were ignored by the Allies, and the League of Nations was unable to take any action. So Italy and Japan invaded many countries, but this League of Nations was unable to take any action. In spite of all these manifestations of military activity by Germany, Italy and Japan, Britain and France continued to be non-interventionist. So, in spite of all these activities which are carried out by Germany, Italy and Japan, Britain and France are not interested to interfere in these problems, in these military activities. The mood in Britain was not in favor of starting another war. So they are not in the mindset of starting another war. Prime Ministers Baldwin and Chamberlain did not feel justified in intervening in a region which was not officially in their sphere of interest. So the Prime Ministers who are Baldwin and Chamberlain, they are not justified to interfere in a region which was not in their interest. The United States was totally indifferent to the outside world and was concerned with the revival of the economy after the Great Depression. So we have studied about the Great Depression, right, in the Unit 2 of History.